Good afternoon, and thank you for allowing us to share our story of our beautiful daughter, Kellie. My name is Michelle, and my husband, Ron, is beside me, and we are here today as grieving parents. At 28 years old, Kellie had built a full and beautiful life. She was a daughter, a sister, an aunt, a granddaughter, a fiancée, and a friend to many. She and her fiancé, Travis, were planning their dream wedding for this June. We were supposed to watch her walk down the aisle. On January 15th, our world stopped. Kellie was killed that day. We were on our way to meet her to prepare for her grandfather's funeral, who had passed just 48 hours earlier. Her fiancé, Travis, and I got the call from the RCMP asking us to meet them. As we drove there, I called my husband and my son, our son Michael. When we arrived, the RCMP told us the complete unthinkable, that our daughter was gone. Over the next few days, we learned that the man who killed her had a warrant for his arrest issued at the time of the incident. He had breached bail conditions for previous crimes involving drugs and theft. That morning, he had stolen a truck, driven it towards Port-au-Prairie, and caused a crash that killed my daughter. After the collision, he kicked out the truck's window and fled on foot. When he was caught, he had a large amount of methamphetamine in his system. He was taken into custody, appeared before a judge, and unbelievably was later granted bail, again. Despite killing our daughter while out on a warrant, the system decided to give him yet another chance. We attended the bail hearing along with our MLA and Mayor of Port-au-Prairie and family members. The judge ruled that he could be released to a behavioral health unit in Winnipeg, Manitoba, once a bed became available. He was ordered not to drive, not to use drugs, and to follow the law. When the spot became available, he was transferred to that facility. We believe within hours, he had escaped again. To this day, we do not know how long he was in that facility. When we found this out, my stomach sank with the same sick feeling I had the day Kellie was killed. My greatest fear was that he would hurt someone else or flee. And why wouldn't he? That behavior was entirely predictable. The judge had assured us that if he breached bail again, a warrant would be issued immediately. But there was already a warrant out for his arrest when he killed my daughter. What good are these reassurances? They mean nothing. This man was granted bail 3 times in 2 weeks before Christmas 2024. On New Year's Eve, he breached his conditions again, and a warrant was issued. In 14 days before he killed my daughter, he stood before a judge 3 times. 3 times he was given bail, 3 times he walked away. Why does someone who shows no respect for the law, the police, the judges, or for society keep getting another chance? We hear a lot these days about rights, constitutional rights, individual rights, the rights of the accused. But what about our rights? What we do know is that what we're doing right now is not working, and we need change. The definition of insanity is to continue to do the same things in the same manner, repeatedly, and expect a different outcome. In my view, this is where we are at in the criminal justice system. What about Kellie's right to safety? What about our right to live in a country where the laws protect the innocent, contributing people to our society? Who's defending those rights when repeated offenders are released again and again, only to reoffend, sometimes within hours? Our communities are in crisis. Our justice system is broken. And somewhere along the way, we've started to accept this as normal. It's not normal, and it's not acceptable. If you hear anything from me today, hear this. The cost of these failures is measured in lives, in grief, in trauma, and in fear of repeated criminals on our streets. As a mother, as a Canadian, I expect better from my government. I expect that you will fix a system that keeps putting dangerous people back on our streets. We need you all to do the hard work, fix our broken system. It's your job, and it's what we expect. Thank you for having
5 minutes.
Thank you, Mr. Chair, and thank you, Mr. and Mrs. Best, Michelle, Ron. I want to thank you for your courage in coming here today and sharing your story with such incredible composure, given the circumstances, and for your relentless advocacy and efforts to try to change Canada's bail system in the aftermath of the terrible tragedy that your family faced in honor of Kellie, but with a focus on ensuring that other families don't face the same devastation that yours had to. I know Kellie a little bit, and she's a wonderful human being with an incredibly bright future ahead of her, and she did not deserve to have her life taken by a man who should have been behind bars. I am so sorry for the loss that your entire family has faced, for the loss of Travis, her fiance, for all of those that knew and loved her, and frankly our entire community, my hometown of Portage, which was badly shaken when the news came out, which turned into pure disgust when the circumstances of how this tragedy came about. Kellie faced the consequences of political decisions that put the rights of criminals above the rights of everyone else. Her death should not have happened. Now, the individual who killed your daughter was given bail 3 times within 2 weeks prior to this tragedy. How does it make you feel to realize that the system as it currently is set up seems far more concerned with his rights than the safety of your daughters?
It's a feeling of like you just feel defeated because there's so many things that go through your head when you ask a question like that. Just the fact that there's just no, like they just simply don't, you know, the suspect just simply doesn't care about society. He was released on his bail 9 months after spending time in prison, September 5th. September 6th, he absconded. September 7th, he posted on his social media, fresh out of P-W-E-Z-Y, no regard for the family, nothing. Monday, we discovered from Victim Services that he was released on Friday and left within 6 or 7 hours. So 4 days after we discovered that, Tuesday, we were at a press conference, and at 3 o'clock that afternoon, 4 to 5 days after he was released and absconded, a warrant for his arrest was issued, and he was picked up, I think, within 20 minutes. So, you know, whether or not that answers your questions, when those types of questions come up, those are the things. It just leaves you bewildered how it can happen.
It goes to show that our police are doing their level best, and thank you all for the work that they do. Now, you've lived through the worst imaginable outcome of a failed system. If you could speak directly to the lawmakers that have defended for years the status quo of this system, what would you say to them?
To speak to what you hear about rehabilitation, the importance of rehabilitation, and they need help, and it's, in this case, and I think in most cases, if it's a justice or a judge that's giving this person bail, not only you're not doing the family any favors, but you're not doing the individuals any favors. They just can't, if you let that individual out, they just don't understand it, and they're going to go and do exactly what they were arrested for previously. And
I think my comment would be, we need change. We're continuing to do the same thing over and over again, expecting a different result from people who are not able to make different decisions. And by just releasing them back into our communities, we're giving them the go-ahead to continue their behavior. This is not something we talk about for initial offenses. This is repeat, and I think that that's a key word. And if I could speak directly to them, please make these changes.
Thank you. And just quickly, What message does it send to victims' families when someone who repeatedly breaches these conditions is yet given another chance by a judge?
We want them, we felt at a loss. We felt discouraged. We felt that his immediate needs were being put over the situation that our family has been put in. She's a huge loss, not only to our community, as Brandon mentioned, but to our family. She was a pillar in our family, and it didn't matter. And no one asked us the question, and no one considered his previous behaviors either. When you talk about the fact that previous drug use should be mentioned in bail, there was no mention of his previous history. His defense lawyer made us think that he had previously been one of Senta's helpers. So it's important that the accused have a chance to speak and that the judge have a chance to make some better assumptions.